Mafia Informants. In its simplest form, the oath of omertà that binds all made men means two things: never rat out your friends, or even enemies, and always keep your mouth shut. While it's common knowledge that breaking this code brings severe consequences, few understand the extreme lengths the mob will go to punish what they consider the ultimate sin. Today, we reveal the fates of those who dared to break their sacred oath. Number 5. Mikey Scars DiLeonardo. Born to second-generation immigrants in 1955, Michael DiLeonardo's path from humble beginnings to becoming one of the most consequential informants in Mafia history is a tale of loyalty, betrayal, and survival. Growing up in Bensonhurst, Brooklyn, DiLeonardo earned his nickname Mikey Scars from a childhood dog bite that left its mark. With a grandfather who served as a captain in the Gambino crime family, young Michael's introduction to the underworld was almost inevitable. By his teenage years, DiLeonardo was already running errands for Gambino associates. After a brief stint in college, he fully immersed himself in the family's operations, managing everything from gambling to loan sharking. His marriage to Antoinette Fapiano, cousin of Gambino underboss Frank De Tico, further cemented his position within the organization. On Christmas Eve 1988, DiLeonardo received his ultimate gift: formal induction into the Gambino family under John Gotti's leadership. His rise continued until he reached the rank of captain, overseeing the family's lucrative construction and trucking rackets. But DiLeonardo's world began to crumble in June 2002. After his arrest on multiple charges, including murder and racketeering, the Gambino family made a fatal mistake. They cut off all financial support, accusing him of theft. His desperate messages declaring innocence fell on deaf ears as the family shelved him, stripping away his rank and privileges. The betrayal cut deep, so deep that DiLeonardo made the decision that would forever change his life. He turned government informant. The emotional toll was severe. Torn between loyalty to his former best friend Junior Gotti and facing his son's disapproval, he attempted suicide. Yet DiLeonardo's testimony proved devastating to the mob. His cooperation led to 80 convictions, including high-ranking members of both the Gambino and Colombo crime families. His unprecedented 15 court appearances made him the most productive mafia informant in history. Today, DiLeonardo lives under witness protection with his second family, forever looking over their shoulders. While some argue the family's betrayal forced his hand, others maintain that nothing justifies breaking the sacred oath of omertà. Number 4. Jimmy the Weasel Fratianno. Born in Naples in 1913, Jimmy Fratianno emerged as one of the most brutal and effective mobsters in Mafia history. Relocating to Cleveland as an infant, he earned his nickname the Weasel during a teenage escape attempt from police. Rising quickly in the criminal underworld, Fratianno built a complex network of global connections, associating with powerful figures like Mickey Cohen, Murray Riley, and Bella Chid. But his ascent wasn't without setbacks. Between 1951 and 1973, he faced multiple arrests and convictions, including charges of attempted extortion and conspiracy to commit murder. Despite his legal troubles, Fratianno's influence grew within the Los Angeles crime family. He eventually reached the position of acting boss alongside Louis Tom Dragna. However, his co-leadership proved controversial, with accusations of treachery and running a separate faction within the family. The turning point came when a fellow mobster, Ferrito, became a government informant after learning of a hit placed on his life. This led to Fratiano's indictment for the murder of Danny Green, an Irish mob boss and FBI informant. Faced with substantial prison time, Fratiano made the decision that would define his legacy. He too turned government witness. His cooperation proved invaluable to the FBI, revealing crucial information about mob operations, including Roselli's role in selling the Desert Inn to Howard Hughes and involvement in the CIA's Operation Mongoose. While in witness protection, Fratiano capitalized on his notoriety, collaborating on 2 books, The Last Mafioso and Vengeance is Mine. Unlike many informants, Fratiano lived to old age, dying of natural causes at 80 in 1993. However, his time in witness protection wasn't without cost. In his own words, the isolation from his family proved emotionally devastating, showing that even those who survive betraying the mob pay a heavy personal price. Number 3. Abe Kid Twist Reles, the canary who could sing but couldn't fly, born to Jewish immigrants in Brooklyn's Brownsville section in 1906. Abraham Reles would become one of the most prolific assassins in mob history, and ultimately a cautionary tale about the fate of informants. Despite his parents' attempts to provide him an education, Reles dropped out in 8th grade, finding his true calling in the streets. There, he formed crucial friendships with Martin Bugsy Goldstein and Harry Pittsburgh Phil Strauss, relationships that would shape his criminal career. Reles's weapon of choice was chillingly simple: an ice pick. He developed such expertise with this kitchen implement that many of his victims were initially thought to have died from cerebral hemorrhages. His reputation for violence extended beyond professional hits. He allegedly murdered a parking lot attendant for being too slow and attacked a car wash worker over a smudge on his fender. As a member of Murder Incorporated, the enforcement arm of the National Crime Syndicate, Reles answered to Racket's boss Louis Lepke Buchalter. His efficient and ruthless approach to murder made him one of Brooklyn's top assassins until 1940, when arrest for multiple murders forced him to make an impossible choice. Facing execution, Reles turned government witness. His testimony proved devastating, helping law enforcement solve roughly 70 unsolved murders and leading to the conviction of numerous high-ranking mobsters, including his former boss, Buchalter. The climax of Reles's story came on November 12, 1941. He was scheduled to testify against Albert Anastasia, the feared co-chief of Murder Inc. Despite being under police protection at the Half Moon Hotel in Coney Island, Reles was found dead that morning, having fallen from the window of room 623. The circumstances of his death remain one of organized crime's most intriguing mysteries. While some believe the mob infiltrated the hotel to silence him, others maintain he died attempting escape. A 1951 grand jury ruled his death accidental, but the truth behind the canary who could sing but couldn't fly remains forever sealed in the annals of mob history. Number 2. Salvatore Sammy the Bull Gravano. Born in 1945 to Italian immigrants, Salvatore Gravano's journey from street thug to mob underboss, and ultimately to star witness, would reshape the landscape of organized crime in America. Unlike many of his mob peers, Gravano grew up in relative comfort. However, his battle with dyslexia made him a target for schoolyard bullies, leading him to embrace violence as an outlet for his frustration. By age 13, he had joined the Rampers street gang, beginning his descent into criminal life. Even military service, where he rose to the rank of corporal, couldn't deter his criminal ambitions. Upon returning to Bensonhurst, Gravano quickly connected with the Colombo crime family through Anthony Sparrow, whose uncle was a family associate. His efficiency and ruthlessness caught the eye of boss Joe Colombo, but internal rivalries eventually forced him to switch allegiance to the Gambino family. At 31, Gravano became a made man in the Gambino family, where his brutal efficiency earned him increasing power and responsibility. His pivotal moment came in December 1985, when he helped orchestrate the assassination of Gambino boss Paul Castellano. This bloody coup installed John Gotti as the new boss, with Gravano eventually rising to underboss. For years, Gotti and Gravano maintained a close alliance, but paradise crumbled when Gotti's jealousy of Gravano's legitimate business success and popularity among the crew began to show. Gotti's paranoia led to weekly mandatory meetings at the Ravenite Social Club, a fatal mistake that allowed FBI surveillance to gather damning evidence against the organization. When both men were arrested in December 1990, Gotti made his final mistake, attempting to use Gravano as a scapegoat. Upon discovering Gotti's betrayal, Gravano made the unprecedented decision to become the highest-ranking New York crime family member ever to turn state's witness. His testimony proved devastating, sending Gotti to prison for life. In exchange, Gravano received a reduced sentence and was released in 1994. Unlike many informants, he managed to avoid the mob's vengeance, though later drug charges would send him back to prison. Today, he channels his energy into writing books and sharing his mob experiences, living as one of the few who successfully broke omerta and lived to tell the tale. Number 1. Is it Joe Massino, Henry Hill, or someone else? Share your thoughts below in the comments. I appreciate every single one of you who has stuck with me until now. If you're as supportive as I think, I have a small favor to ask. To help us grow and reach more people, please subscribe to our channel and share your thoughts in the comments. Your engagement means the world to me and helps us create more content that dives into the complexities of true crime.